Chapter 8, Snow White. Walt Disney was always looking for the next big idea. He was always pushing the boundaries of what could be done in a cartoon. He and his artists perfected sound and color. Walt didn't stop there. In 1933, he decided to make a full-length animated film. Up until then, cartoons were short. They lasted only a few minutes. In theaters, they were shown before a full-length movie. Yet Walt knew that kids would sit watching hours of different Mickey Mouse cartoons, so why wouldn't they sit through one long animated movie if it was good enough? Besides being short, cartoons were always full of slapstick gags. A full-length animated movie, however, needed more than humor. Walt had to have a story with romance and drama and excitement. The famous fairy tale Snow White had all that. It was the story Walt picked. It took years to create Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. More than 250,000 drawings were done for the 83-minute movie. Walt was in charge of every step of production. At meetings, he acted out scenes for his animation team. The artists copied Walt's expressions and movements into their drawings. He wanted each character to seem as real as a live actor. Yes, there would be funny scenes, but there would also be parts where people would cry or hold their breath in fear. The backgrounds were important too. They could not look flat and two-dimensional. For example, the house of the Seven Dwarfs had to look as if it were solid and in real space. A special multi-plane camera also helped make everything look three-dimensional. Disney artists spent more than 3 years making Snow White. One spent almost a year drawing a funny scene of the dwarfs eating soup. And it didn't even end up in the movie. Roy had one of the hardest jobs. He had to come up with the money to make Snow White. The studio borrowed more than $1.5 million. This was an incredible sum of money for a cartoon, and what if the film flopped? How would the studio pay it back? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs opened on December 21, 1937, at the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles. Famous Hollywood stars came dressed in evening gowns and tuxedos. The audience gasped at the beauty of the film. At the end, the applause was like thunder. Time magazine put Walt on the cover and called Snow White a masterpiece. Walt won a Special Academy Award. It had a golden Oscar surrounded by 7 smaller Oscars. Over the next few years, Disney produced 3 more wonderful movies in animation: Fantasia, Pinocchio, and Bambi. However, none matched the film magic of Snow White. To this day, it remains one of the most popular movies ever made.